And we begin the news tonight with a look to our left in Nash County as the pretty sight of snow continues to fall along the I-95 corridor. But on the right in Durham, we see some of the problems it's been causing as they continue to rescue people and clean up a bus that skidded off the roadway early. We'll have more from both those locations in a minute, but let's start with the forecast. After talking about the snow for days, we continue to watch it fall across central North Carolina. Good evening, I'm Wes Hohenstein. Hope everyone made it through the snow okay tonight and maybe even got to enjoy some of it. It fell in good amounts down southwest of the Triangle, where it is now stopped. Snow has let up already in the western part of central North Carolina. Through the heart of central North Carolina, snow is starting to let up, still falling as light to moderate snow in parts of Cumberland County. And the places where we thought it would fall in most amounts all along, it continues to fall along I-95 and as you head toward the coast, still falling at a decent rate in all of those spots. And it looks like a pretty winter wonderland out at RDU, causing a few problems there, but you can see most everything looks white on the ground as the first flake of snow that fell earlier tonight stuck to the ground because it's been so cold. And how about those temperatures? 24 now, and the thermometer feels like 15, and it's 20s all across central North Carolina. But that wind has picked up, and it will continue to pick up overnight. So wind chills right now in the teens will be in the teens, if not colder, tomorrow morning. So I know many of you will either not be going to school tomorrow or will be staying home from work. But if you do have to get up and at 'em early on Thursday morning, temperatures will be near 20. Those wind chills in the single digits or low teens, and most of the snow will have stopped with the exception of the far northeastern part of central North Carolina, but it will still be on the ground as most of the roads will be snowy or icy. We've got an updated snow totals map as well as some amazing totals from around town already. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about how long this cold air is going to stick around. But our coverage of this first winter weather event of the new year continues right now on CBS North Carolina.
Thank you, Wes. And conditions deteriorating quickly across central North Carolina within the past several hours. As our team forecast, the snow started coming down in the southern counties and has now moved into the Triangle.
Our team of reporters and meteorologists covering it all from Wake County to the Sandhills. More from them and how the storm is impacting other cities up and down the East Coast in just a moment.
But we start with a list of school closures, and it's really easy. Nearly every county in central North Carolina closed tomorrow. We're including Wake, Durham, Orange, Johnson, and Cumberland. The full list scrolling at the bottom of your screen and updated in real time on WNCN.com and our free app.
And several accidents across the area. Let's take a live look here at 15501 at the Durham Freeway. That is a stranded megabus that slid off the road. One of several accidents on the roadways tonight. Go Triangle suspending services in Durham and Raleigh overnight. Chapel Hill, the fire department tweeting out images within the past hour. 15501 just reopened. This was over at Manning Drive. It was closed for quite a while, but again, 15501 at Manning Drive is back open. And CBS North Carolina's crews covering every element of this story.
Our AJ Janville in Wake County, Amy Cutler in Ashe County, but we start with Storm Team meteorologist Kristen Ketchel, the first one of our crews to see snow this afternoon. She's live in downtown Sanford tonight. Kristen.
Sean, I'm standing on Carthage Street here in downtown Sanford, and you can see that snow is blanketing everything. And while it looks absolutely gorgeous, it did cause some tricky travel and is continuing to do so this evening. Now, we drove all around Lee and Moore counties today, and even brined roads were covered in snow. Several inches of snow fell across Moore and Lee counties Wednesday evening, quickly covering roads and sidewalks. Travel was treacherous as even treated roads saw the snow starting to stack up. Some drivers who braved the snow struggled to navigate the slippery roads, and several even spun out completely. Lane markers on Highway 1 in Moore County disappeared under a blanket of white as drivers white-knuckled it to reach their destinations. But even the heavy snow couldn't stop people from venturing out for a bite to eat.
Once I get this, I'm heading home, and that's it. That's it. I would advise you not to come out unless you necessarily have to.
Great advice with more snow expected overnight and road conditions likely to get worse. Road conditions still pretty bad here in Sanford right now. We also did talk to Moore County Schools earlier, and they confirmed that one of its buses was involved in an accident on US 1 South near Pine Bluff just after 4 p.m. Luckily, no one was hurt, and all the children on the bus were accounted for. In Sanford right now, the snow continues to fall very lightly, just seeing a few flurries right now. And again, road conditions expected to get worse as things start to really freeze overnight tonight. Live in Sanford, I'm Storm Team Meteorologist Kristen Ketchel, CBS North Carolina.
All right, Kristen, thank you. And further south, several inches of snow also falling in a burst earlier tonight in Hope County. CBS North Carolina's Sheena Elzy sending us this video of light snow falling and accumulating on the roads. But it didn't take long for that snow to quickly accumulate, creating problems on the roadways. Highway Patrol responding to more than 24 accidents there, at least 2 of them with injuries. And check out these photos sent to us from a viewer in Cumberland County. Thanks for sending those. Several inches of snow there. Fayetteville police responding to dozens of wrecks with deteriorating conditions on the main roadways.
Also in Cumberland County, Fayetteville's Salvation Army at capacity as people seek shelter from the cold. Volunteers are working to bus the overflow to area churches. Farther east, the snow started falling within the past 2 hours.
Yeah, CBS North Carolina's Amy Cutler is covering Nash and Edgecombe counties. Amy.
Sharon, the snow has really been coming down at quite a clip at this hour. It started around 9 o'clock and has continued and has not let up, really. It started to accumulate on the ground. Take a look at this. We've got several inches. It is that white, powdery, pretty snow. But the roads at this hour, they're not in great condition. With snow in the forecast, firefighters in Nashville prepared.
So what we have is what we call ISTA chains. If we get snow and the snow covers the ground completely, we can cut those on, and what they'll do is they'll hit under the truck tires and give the fire truck more traction. Battalion
Chief Chris Joyner showing us what they've been working on.
This is actually a pump drain. You've got other drains. You want to drain the water out of this pump. Behind that panel there is a complete pump, and you want to drain all the water out of that pump. That way any little bit of water in there can freeze up. When you do that, you don't have use of your engine.
Joyner telling me he also called in more firefighters. Normally 4 would be working tonight, but he has 12 on. They also make sure to keep extra dry uniforms on hand. When you put all your gear on to start with, plus your air packs, you're approximately adding anywhere from 45 to 50 more pounds to your body anyway. If you make that wet, you go up to 70, 75 pounds. Joyner advising folks to stay warm inside their homes, saying if the roads get bad, their response time is likely to go up. And you can certainly understand why the response time would be up. Take a live look here at Washington Street, right in downtown Nashville, in front of the courthouse. DOT crews saying that their first priority are highways like 95 and 64. So even main roads like this one really take a back seat to the highways. For now, we are live in Nashville. Amy Cutler, CBS North Carolina.
Wow, they're getting a lot of snow in Nashville.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amy. Well, some people were worried Raleigh would miss out.
Well, that's not the case at all. CBS North Carolina's AJ Janeville covering conditions and preparations in Raleigh tonight. AJ.
Hey, Sean, I want to show you guys, this snow has been falling for about maybe an hour and a half. This is Wake Forest Road here behind me. Look at it. It's covered. You can see how much is snowing just from this. I've been standing out here for a few minutes. But what's more surprising is not the snow that's all over the road, but these drivers. People are still out driving. In the last few minutes, I've seen people struggling on these roads. Earlier today, we got a chance to talk to some people who were smart enough to get their errands done before it started to snow. At the Kroger on Six Forks in Raleigh, shoppers filed in to get last-minute groceries.
Of course, we get the essentials, the milk, the eggs, the breakfast food, just in case we can't go to work in the morning.
Chris and Obie and her daughter, Lauren, stocked up on supplies for the rest of their family, hours before the possible winter weather storm. Obie says the grocery options at the store were hit or miss.
Cheese was kind of wiped out as far as what I was looking for. Milk was good. Eggs were a little depleted.
If she had her choice, Obie tells me she would not mind seeing some snow this week.
Do you like snow, Mama?
Not everyone is excited as Obie for the forecast.
Everybody's panic buying because of the potential 1 or 2 inches we're getting.
Andy Beal sat in line 2 cars deep, waiting for gas at the Costco. Behind him, dozens of other cars waited.
This is not normal for this time of day.
Many drivers raced home to try and beat the weather. Some businesses even closed early. However, other businesses were prepping specifically to drive in the winter weather.
You can get upwards of Super Bowl sales, which is up to 4 or 5 times what you would have expected from that day.
It's cold outside, but inside Papa John's, pizza is hot. And General Manager Sarah Smith says she knows a lot of people aren't planning on cooking. That's why they've upped the staff with more drivers Wednesday. She says while delivery drivers are prepared to deal with some winter weather conditions, if it gets too dangerous, they won't be on the roads.
We want people to be fed and happy. We want our customers to be happy, but we want everyone to be safe.
Now, there is a winter weather advisory here in Wake County until at least 7 o'clock tomorrow. And if you're anything like me, you have the CBS News app and you got push alerts all day about people like that just spinning out behind me. Anyway, you got push alerts all day about school closures. So really, you have no reason to be out if you don't have to be. So if you can, make sure to stay off these roads because they're not safe. Reporting live here in Raleigh, I'm AJ Janovel for CBS North Carolina.
Well, and starting with you, AJ, drive safely away from there. Thank you. Volunteers at the Durham Rescue Mission spent the day searching outdoors for the homeless and offering them shelter to deal with the cold. The organization also provided warm meals tonight. The shelter will accept anyone who needs assistance until this cold snap ends. Eastern North Carolina is projected to see some of the highest snow totals in our state.
The system there started out as rain and then turned to sleet tonight. Brandon Truitt from our sister station WNCT has the latest conditions in Greenville.
I'm here off of Greenville Boulevard, right in the middle of the city and right in the middle of what is expected to be some of the largest accumulation amounts, anywhere from 4 to 7 inches. Let's show you a little bit of what's on the ground as of now. So far, not much snow accumulation, but there is a thin layer of ice starting to build up and starting to compact itself. That is what public works crews have been worried that would accumulate on these roads, as over the past couple of days, they have been preparing them with a salt and brine mixture. As of now, we are seeing a normal amount of traffic for this time of the evening, although throughout our travels we have seen that people are kind of taking it slower, braking more gently, and heeding the advice of the officials here. This is a storm that is going to affect tons of people throughout eastern North Carolina, hundreds of thousands in fact, as it moves into Thursday morning. Temperatures expected to drop into the low to mid 20s. For now, in Greenville, North Carolina, Brandon Truitt, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Brandon, thank you. And ahead of today's storm, Governor Cooper declaring a state of emergency for more than half the state, from the Triangle to the coast, paving the way for additional resources. While it's snow in central North Carolina, some communities in the southeastern part of the state are dealing with ice, while extreme northeastern counties are under blizzard warnings and could see several inches of snow. Our coverage just getting started. This monster storm started as snow as far south as Florida and then blanketing Charleston.
And the Northeast on alert. Major cities preparing for significant snow and potential whiteout conditions. Wes.
Some of us have been seeing snow for more than 6 hours already. We could have another 6 hours to go. We'll check in on the radar, the snow totals, and just how much colder it's going to be tomorrow and the rest of this week coming up in your forecast.
And many of you are already sharing your winter weather photos with us. We want to see your pictures. You can share them by emailing them to newstips@wncn.com or sharing them on social media.
And make sure to tune in to our extended morning news coverage. Russ, Maggie, Paul, and Aaron will have the latest on the system's impact overnight, starting at 4 a.m. We are back with a live look at the traffic map, which at 11:16 at night, you can see some red on that when normally it's all green. That just kind of gives you an idea of how bad the road conditions are out there. There's a live look on the right side of your screen of Nash County with the snow falling. The bottom is 540 in Raleigh. You can see the snow has accumulated there. We're going to have another look at the conditions. Plus, Wes is going to have a full forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
And some other news we're following tonight. Investigators working to determine what started a fire this afternoon at the old Sea to Shore seafood restaurant off of Highway 70 in Orange County. A fire chief told our crews on scene the building was used to store appliances. The call came in around 1 o'clock, and it took 75 firefighters from 6 agencies to put out the fire. Fortunately, no one was hurt. No word of weather was to blame for a deadly accident this afternoon in Fayetteville. Police say the driver died after hitting a utility pole on Philly Yaw Road. A passenger went to the hospital but should be okay.
In Nash County, workers along Highway 64 discovered a man's body in the Stony Creek area this afternoon. Deputies have not identified him. Bill and Hillary Clinton were not at home when a small fire broke out on their New York property this afternoon. Investigators say the fire broke out in a Secret Service facility. It is not connected to the Clintons' residence. No one was hurt.
And back to today's big weather story, the snowstorm moving up the East Coast. This is video from Charleston, where several inches of snow fell late this afternoon. People having a good time out there in the snow. And further south in Savannah, Georgia, police helping drivers who aren't used to driving in icy conditions. Well, freezing rain accumulated on the bridges, forcing some cars to slide. Dozens of crashes reported there.
And for some kids in the Sunshine State, the first time ever seeing snow in their backyards. Can you blame them making those snow angels right now? It's been decades since snow blanketed the Florida Panhandle. And here is a live look from our mobile news tracker. In Lee County, you can see the snow has accumulated on roadways there. Empty roadways, we might say, as we take a look at the conditions out there. Wes, a lot of snow blanketing the roads tonight across our area.
Yes, and it was all snow in central North Carolina. Most of the time, it's us trying to figure out, is it going to be rain or snow? But if Savannah, Charleston and Florida are getting snow, you know we'll have no problems here. So everything from the sky tonight fell as snow, but it fell at different rates, which changed some of our totals. We'll look at those in just a minute. I'd say about half of our viewing area right now has seen most all the snow we're going to get. There might be a few flurries left over, but most of it now falling in parts of the Sandhills, Cumberland and Sampson County, and then also along the I-95 corridor, where it will fall for another few hours, accumulating maybe another inch or so. So once this snow stops, we'll be able to get full measurements. But here's what we've got so far, and it's been an amazing amount of snow for our friends in Lee and Moore County, also over in Hope County. Look at Pinehurst. You guys got 6 inches. You were in on that initial burst that was a little bit of a surprise to us, and that's why it accumulated so much and so early. 5.5 inches in Carthage, about 5 inches in Aberdeen, Sanford, and Pittsburgh, a little over 3 inches, and about 1.5 inches so far in Durham and in Clayton. So while the snow is one story, the cold is the other. Temperatures right now are in the 20s, so there's not going to be any melting tonight. But what's happening is the winds are starting to pick up, and that's sending our wind chills down into the teens. And if you are one of the few that are going to have to get up and at them tomorrow morning, you will have to deal with that and more, because it has now been 94 hours straight since we've been at or below freezing, and we may not get above freezing in some areas tomorrow or Friday. But here is your forecast tomorrow. It starts off with just that small chance of snow at 6 a.m. in the far northeastern part of our viewing area. And I'm talking about Halifax and Northampton County. Otherwise, everyone else is sunny and dry the entire day, but it's going to be breezy. Plus, we'll have snow on the ground, kind of like a cooler. You put ice in the cooler and everything around it stays cold. You put snow on the ground and everything around it stays cold, including you and me. So from 20 degrees in the morning with a wind chill of 11, we'll slowly climb to 29 at lunchtime with a wind chill of 20. And sunny skies, dry weather tomorrow, but our high will only be 33, just barely above freezing, and our wind chills will not get out of the 20s. So we had the perfect ingredients this time around, and it's basically cold air coming from the north, courtesy of high pressure, and an area of low pressure moving in from the south, bringing us the moisture. That's what brought us the snow today. But this area of low pressure is not done with the East Coast. It's going to continue to strengthen and bring more moisture in the form of snow to our friends in the Northeast, possibly more than a foot in some areas. So it's such a big deal that the National Hurricane Center had the hurricane hunters fly in and around this area of low pressure earlier today to gather more information to hopefully improve the forecast for the forecasters as well as the computer models. So it doesn't happen too often, but in January, the hurricane hunter was flying. And as we head into the rest of this evening, here's what we expect. By midnight, we expect the radar to look like this. Snow still falling mainly along the I-95 corridor. And as the whole system starts to pull away, so will the snow. Here's what the radar should look like at 3 a.m. and again at 6 a.m. with just a few of us having snow left over, but sunshine breezy conditions and cold weather for everyone else. And then we should be completely dry by 9 and 10 a.m. And again, it'll be a sunny day tomorrow, but it will not be a sunny and warm day. So here is the updated snowfall map. I adjusted totals just a little bit higher all around, and then we had to put a bullseye where they got that burst of snow, 3 to 6 inches down in Lee, Hoke, and Moore counties. The other bullseye still just east of I-95, 3 to 6. So we'll continue to accumulate the accumulations and pass those along to you throughout the day tomorrow. But here's what you're faced with when you leave early tomorrow. Again, if you do have to leave early, wind chills close to 10 degrees. It has been a cold week, and it continues tomorrow with sunshine and snow on the ground. Look for highs only around freezing, and your 7-day forecast doesn't get warm anytime soon. We'll keep it around freezing through Friday and Saturday, just barely above it on Sunday. But guys, we've got 50s on Monday and Tuesday, and that precipitation chance you see there is rain. But hopefully you can enjoy the snow and you've made it through it okay.
Yeah, okay. It does look pretty, but be careful if you do have to head out and about for sure.
Yeah, well, things did not look pretty for Tar Heels fans tonight. There were some really high highs on the court, but there were also some low lows and some confusing moments. The Tar Heels traveled down south to play Florida State, and they actually found some controversy. We'll show you the interaction between Joel Berry and a referee that has the entire internet buzzing. Plus, a local sports phenom brings home another award. We'll tell you about the kid from Wake Forest who is dominating golf courses. That and more straight ahead.
Well, snow is still falling across parts of our area tonight, and the wind is blowing. Our coverage continues tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. Have a great evening.